What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Speak Up series. My name is Asante Black.
I'm Reed Shannon.
I'm Ethan Arisi.
And today, we have a very special guest. Some of you guys might know her from her various many roles in the entertainment industry. She was in Transformers. Woo! She started out in 100 Things to Do before high school. Yes. She's been in a
Sicario.
Instant Family. She was Dora. Ladies and gentlemen,
Dora.
Give it up for Isabela Merced.
Woo!
It's too early to be hyping me up like this. My mom's gonna have to deal with this for the rest of the day. No, I'm just so excited to be here. I think this is really cool. It's like the first time I'm doing anything like this. People usually just want to hear about really surface level stuff in interviews, and we finally get to talk about the gritty.
Yes.
Stuff that makes us feel uncomfortable, the stuff that we can address, that finally addresses the change. I saw something really amazing like last night. I don't know. I see a lot of amazing things on Instagram lately, calling people out, exposing people, but also somebody's like, what if 2020 doesn't have to be the worst year ever? What if it can be the year of change? Therefore, it has to be uncomfortable. What if it's the year that we all needed to happen? Growth.
We can't go into this new decade with the same, traumas and the same, ingrained ideas of hate that we've been living with. And I really feel like, people our age, we're spearheading this like movement. It's like, nah, we're not about to let you cast your problems on us so that we can bear with and deal with those for the rest of our lives. Like, we see a better future, and that's what we're working for.
It's time to just be the change. And
exactly.
Even with our families too, like I know a lot of friends who have a lot of families that don't necessarily agree with their views, and unfortunately it just blows my mind how people are finally stepping up, I guess, against people who supposedly are supposed to know better, supposed to be wise, supposed to be experienced, but yet they choose to be so ignorant at the same time.
Yeah. It takes a lot of, I know it's got to take a lot of like courage to be able to open up that discussion, because, like we've been saying, it's uncomfortable, and you're probably going to end up hearing things from, your parents that you don't want to hear. And that's going to be difficult. I can't imagine how difficult that could be, but it's important. It's the only way we can progress. It's the only way we can, try and educate those that do not understand. So yeah, a lot of props to everyone that's, out there, like opening up these discussions with family, even though there are different views involved. I know it has to take a lot. So shout out to all y'all out there.
Shout out.
For sure. Trying to start every episode, with everything going on in the world right now. It can be a lot for people to take in, and a lot of times people are saying that they need to take breaks for their mental health, because we're really consuming a lot of trauma on a daily basis, and people are pointing out that it's not a normal thing. The human beings aren't supposed to see all of this back to back to back and have to process it as well. So we really just want to start every episode by asking every single one of our guests, how are you feeling in the midst of all of this? Where's your headspace?
Well, I guess I can only speak on my experience. Okay, Reed, you mentioned Sicario, right? You saw the movie? You see how like traumatizing it was, the situation that my character was in. And you're all actors.
He's going through it.
Yeah, you're all actors, and you're given the script. You're being told that you have to make the experience as believable as possible. Therefore, you are living the experience of your character. Yeah. Therefore, and when they see us, Ethan, and it hurt me to watch, and it was literally one of the most scarring things I've seen in the past year. And so you guys have felt the things that your characters have felt. Therefore, you're living through it. Therefore, it affects you. Your mind and your body cannot tell the difference. Your mind might know, but your body is still feeling the effects, the chemicals that are going from your brain to your body. So it does affect you, the stuff that people are seeing on the internet. So I fully believe when people say, I needed to take a break. I'm sorry that I haven't been posting about this movement. I just need to take, I fully believe it. I understand it. So for me personally, I've seen quite scarring things in real life. So if anything, like, I'm just worried that I'm getting desensitized to it. Yeah. So I'm just, that's kind of my concern. a little bit. It's like I don't want to look at it and just I don't want to ever look at something that's supposed to be completely heartbreaking and roll my eyes and say I've seen this before.
Right. What do you think is the sort of solution? I know we're sort of jumping into that, but like, what do you think? Do you think, you know, a lot of people say, oh, we shouldn't show these videos. We shouldn't post these videos, just raise awareness. How do you feel about that?
This might be controversial, but whatever. We're going to get comfortable here.
Yeah, we're doing everything.
Yeah.
I think that they should see the videos. I think you should give a warning, obviously. I think people are definitely at least deserve a warning, which is good. They have that feature on Instagram that like you can click to watch this. It is kind of a little bit on the scarier side, but I think that, I mean, look at the girl who took the video of George Floyd. She was getting bullied online for not doing anything, like for not like intervening. And I'm like, first of all,
she could have lost her life that day too.
She's black, and she would at the very least get arrested and overcharged. So why are you guys bullying her? She has to go to therapy. It's so sad.
Yeah. Especially there were also, the video didn't capture the 3 other officers that are on, you know, George Floyd. So at any point, if she tries to intervene, one of those officers, she's immediately already outnumbered.
And she can immediately end up in the exact same situation, which is, you know, a very tragic thing and something that we don't want. And it's actually very, very interesting what you were saying in terms of, you know, our brain sends these signals to our body, because I remember when I first saw the video of George Floyd, and we were, you know, I was kind of talking about this with Ethan and Reed too, but, you know, when we first saw it, it's such a horrible thing to say, but, you know, I think that I was desensitized, and, you know, just immediately my instinct was to push it away because we see it so much. And I remember coming back, and I was like, okay, no, I'm going to watch this because it's important. And I watched it, and as I was watching it, like, I literally felt my chest tightening. I could literally feel, like, people think I'm exaggerating when I say this, but like, I literally felt my chest tightening as they had his knee, or Officer Chavez had his knee on George Floyd's neck. So it's like these things that we're seeing and processing and you know, are consuming all the time. It takes a mental and physical effect on these people's bodies and everyone's bodies, which is why I think that, you know, like you were saying, it's very important to make sure that we're taking mental health breaks and that we're making sure to check in on ourselves. And while, you know, we have to do what we have to do to continue to fight, we also have to check in on ourselves, because at the end of the day, we don't want ourselves to end up becoming lost, and then the fight is won, but then what's left of us, you know?
Right. Ooh, that's great.
Yeah, you are so correct. Instinct. We have these defense mechanisms that automatically kick in when we see something that is supposed to harm us as humans. So my I guess defense mechanism is humor. Like, I'll use humor to cover up things that affect me. And then also watching these videos, like you said, you felt your chest tightening. It's like when you watch a movie and someone's underwater in the scene and they have to hold their breath, and you subconsciously start holding your breath, and then try to see if you can hold it as long as they can. It's crazy. Like the human body does things that we're not even aware of. And it's just that you are 100% correct. Just make sure to address the toll that it's taking on you.
So as of now, every single state in the U.S. has protested.
Incredible.
Which is
that's amazing.
It's insane. I saw it and I was like, how important do you think it is for the rest of the world to get out and protest and show their support?
Well, I mean, I think they should march in support for many reasons. I mean, because we all know that this isn't just going on in the States. I mean, the UK is one of the countries that's marching, and they're protesting for the injustices going on over there, like Mark Dugan, for example. And the reason why is because it resonates. Because the history resonates with people. And I don't know, I wish, because I'm Peruvian, I wish countries like Peru were protesting, but they can't. They literally cannot, because they've got a very strict quarantine in place. And if they get out, they leave, they immediately get arrested.
Wow. And
it's basically martial law, and I mean, things have calmed down a bit, but they still have a curfew and such, but it's way worse than it is here in the States. But I'm sure they would be, because they do have a large Afro-Peruvian and indigenous culture. And they celebrate both. Yesterday was the day of the Afro-Peruvian culture celebrating, and they also have an Indigenous Peoples Day, but that's more so globally. They celebrate Indigenous Peoples Day, and that's including the indigenous people in Peru. But yeah, we got lots of improving to do there, to say the least.
You know, it's crazy. We do this, you know, and we're not trying to act as though we know everything, you know, like we're here to learn and listen just as much as anybody, you know. That's the goal. Like, obviously we're still young and we may, you know, be at a more advanced place of knowledge than a lot of people our age, but you know, there's still more to learn. There's still more to do in effort of a better society. No, exactly. Seriously. Exactly. But you brought up a good point, like the relations between Latin community in America versus, like, or not versus, because that sounds divisive, but like the Latin community and the Black community. I don't know if you had anything you wanted to say on that. You know, there's a lot of
it's kind of tricky territory comparing the two, because Hispanic isn't a race. You know, it's never been a race. It's actually an ethnicity by definition. There are white Latinos and Black Latinos, right? And a lot of people do identify as Latino. They don't even identify as white or Black, but the truth is, scientifically, it is not a race. So I know that you were like, where we were talking about like Latinos saying the N-word, and I'm like, wait, the first people that come to mind is like, first people that come to mind would be Lil Pump, right? Like Lil Pump said it a bunch. 6ix9ine. Like, clearly, I mean, look, clearly we can't use it in the States. That's just not correct. And you know, you kind of have to be very ignorant to think that you can. But they should. I feel like Hispanic people should know that they shouldn't, because I just, like, it doesn't fit under the umbrella of like what is acceptable. But you know, it's you just can't claim a word that you've never been oppressed by. Is my point. You know, you can't claim it.
Most definitely.
Why do you why do you think that some Latino people do feel like it's or feel like they're or not even obligated, but they have the right to be able to say this word?
I think, okay, there's a few I think points to this. In the Spanish language, the word negro means the color black. It's literally the color black. And then the term negrito is a term of endearment when you're addressing someone who has a brown skin color or is darker than you. There are derogatory terms that people just, like, it's in poor taste to even use it. It's like off limits. But the N-word is only a derogatory term in English. And for that reason, the Latinos, I think that they can.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, I'm learning so much right now.
No, but I mean, look, it's an ethnicity at the end of the day. You have Black Latinos and you have white Latinos. Because
do you think it's like a identity crisis type of thing? Because I know, or do you think that maybe there's some confusion in the community of like, okay, we're in ethnicity, so we don't, like, I don't know. I also sort of feel like the N-word is something that, you know, we also have to bring in the conversation, culture. You know what I mean? Like, in the Black culture, we had to take that word back for ourselves and for our mental sanity. And it's like, if, I don't know, maybe I'm just spitballing, like if people in the Latin community feel like they don't identify with, you know, with a certain ethnicity or culture, then they, you know, gravitate to the closest culture.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, at the end of the day, you can't tell people what to say and what not to say. They're going to say what they want to say at the end of the day.
Right.
And look, people might relate to a certain background more, but to say that because they relate to a certain background, they can say the N-word is racist in itself. All these people that come from the poor background are Black. Like, what do you what do you suggest? You know, it's just, I think it's just like a hole that you can just get sucked into. And at the end of the day, I think people know what's right. They know that Hispanics have words that are used against us too that no one else can use.
Right.
We have words too that we can say. They're not like so ingrained in the history like the N-word is. It doesn't have as much of a history, but it is offensive, and lots of people can't use it except for Hispanics. But y'all can claim those words, give it a little twist, make it a little like, you know, but
make it spicy.
Make it. But you know, it's I identify as a white Latino because I am. I mean,
it's obviously a very tricky topic because I mean I didn't even know any, like I just learned so much from what you said. So now realizing that that all that you said, it kind of, you know, makes it a lot. It makes it a lot harder to, I guess. It makes it a lot harder to condemn people for using it, but then at the same time we have to recognize that we, you know, there's it's just as simple as what's right and what's wrong, and we have to continue enforcing it, you know.
Yeah, as hard as it is for you to understand why they don't see it as a problem, is hard as for them to understand why you guys see it as a problem.
Right.
They aren't as educated in the history of the word, and they're aware. They're like, oh yeah, we know slavery was a thing. We know that they were oppressed. We know that it's a group of people, but they still say the word casually because I've heard this once before. I've heard this come out of a person's mouth. They said, I like to say the N-word when I have tourists come visit me because I like to see them squirm.
What?
That makes them uncomfortable. And I was like,
wow.
I did not know what to say. The anti-Blackness in the Hispanic community is so real, and it's just not talked about enough. I don't know.
What do you think a solution to that might be? Ooh. Do you think it's a misunderstanding thing? Because that's the same thing. It's like a misunderstanding between cops and Black people. Like, you know, there's violence on both sides, but it's like we're so close. I wouldn't understand, or maybe I just don't understand why we're at such odds in that way.
I think it's blatant ignorance. Ignorance.
Yeah.
I actually, like, I don't know what to tell you, because to me, I can't even fathom having that thought, putting the words together in your mind and then saying it. So I can't, how can I find the solution if I can't even get to that point? I think we just need to talk more.
I think that it's a conversation that needs to continue.
And Isabela, thank you so much for being a part of this, for just dropping all the knowledge on us and educating us, because, you know, while we're here to, you know, educate our guests and the people watching, it's important for, like Reed and Asante have said, we're also here to learn. We're open-minded to it, and you know, you've taught us a lot. We've got a lot.
I can't wait to watch the rest of the episodes, honestly, because I feel like I talked a lot, but I feel like I could learn a lot more too from you guys. I can't wait. So just let me know. I'll definitely support you guys in whatever you do.
Likewise.
I think it's really cool that you're doing this. I think I honestly haven't seen anything like it happen. Could be because I'm not on Twitter, but I haven't.
And so, you know what else? Your EP slapped, and I meant to tell you that yesterday. I was listening to which one is it? The one that has chocolate in it?
Chocolate.
I was like, oh, we got this is a bop, every single one. So, yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Killing the game.